Out of curiosity, just in terms of approaching psychedelics from a broader view for people who are maybe learning about it for the first time, how do you balance the same thing of the risks in psychedelics versus balancing the realities of it? How do you kind of communicate that with people?
It's really easy to just see the pie in the sky and not think there's any risk whatsoever. There is risk. There can be consequences. There was a study ages ago, 2008, 9, 10, that did drug harm comparisons in the UK. Turns out, after doing a lot of research, this is published in the Lancet, which is a fairly legit journal, and alcohol was the most harmful. LSD and mushrooms were in the top three safest, and they compared harm to self and others. That is not to say that these things are radically safe. I don't know that anything's radically safe. There are things we need to take into account, which is who is safe to consume these. When is it appropriate to consume these? What kind of stuff do we need around it to keep folks safe? In the clinical container, it's about appropriate screening. If we're talking about the drugs we have today that we know a lot about, but then we're looking at Gen 2, 3, 4 molecules that we don't know a ton about. So we are going to have to do a reasonable amount of careful study to understand, like, oh, is there potential cardiac risk here? In what way is this similar to drugs we know about in the past? And what can we learn from that? And how can we just do appropriate animal models, AI modeling, and careful study in humans to make sure we have the best safety we can? At the same time, there's people dying all the time. Like veteran suicide's a big deal. Opioid overdoses are a big deal. Depression and chronic pain. There's a lot of issues out there that are seemingly intractable from a society perspective. And I think we as a society, not as necessarily investors, need to really have a conversation about what kind of risk is acceptable given certain scenarios we're trying to face.